We've done a lot of crazy things at the festival, but not that.
Perhaps you can speak, before we start with the conversation, like more about the festival that's coming up very soon, right?
Starts June 5th, and we're opening it with a documentary on Diane von Furstenberg. We have actually a couple of films about AI, one about Demis from DeepMind, and it's actually a great story of his beginnings, starting in gaming, and then, really founding DeepMind and his passion, and talks more about AlphaFold. And we'd had AlphaGo at the festival a number of years ago, so he's been a great friend to the festival. And then another film by a filmmaker comedian that was all done in AI, and it's how he creates a artificial personality, and the ending of the film will happen at the festival. It's the first time we've accepted a film without the third act, but we'll see what he generates from that.
Is this the first time, or you've done that before?
No, I've never done that before. We've done a lot of crazy things at the festival, but not that.
Well, I think maybe that's a good point to start, because you're doing new things, you're trying new things, and you've seen the evolution of filmmaking and cinema and how technology has changed, perhaps, that craft. I mean, I would love to hear from you what changes you've seen during the years you've been working with all these artists and filmmakers on how technology has affected and changed their craft.
Well, I would say that one of the biggest changes has been probably what's in everybody's pocket, your phone. That's allowed us to create, write, cast, distribute your film all through a phone. And the quality just keeps getting better and better. You look at some of the spots that Apple has done and made by Apple. Catherine Bigelow's spot, I think a year ago, was amazing. More cinematographers are using it. There are more films that are now having pieces that were just shot on iPhone within the film. So it's just, technology. When we started the festival, there wasn't an iPhone. Nobody was texting each other. And 23 years is not really that long ago, although how many people in here are 23? Okay, well, so you wouldn't know. Anyway, but welcome to the world. So when we started the film festival, we had these things called film cans with celluloid. So that has changed. Obviously, that's changed. And just think about the way you edit. I mean, I remember going to NYU Film School, and we would have to edit on celluloid, and we had these things called sprockets on the film. And by the way, NYU was a department at the time, and so I'd have an X-Acto knife and cut out the sprockets because they had really lousy equipment, so it didn't even splice properly. Okay, those are antiquated days. And you think of how you edit now, and it's instantaneous. And it's kind of great because you can see multiple cuts. There's also a downside of that, because sometimes it doesn't give you the time to just sit back and wait and go think about it. I think that sometimes is missing from the process. I do love the speed of it, but
I think you get speed, and you get more times to fail, to do different things, to experiment, I guess. We were speaking about this in our film festival last week in LA, and sometimes it felt that most of what artists were getting out of every new tool is speed at which they can iterate and experiment. I don't know if you...
And experimentation is fantastic. And speaking of speed, you think about how things have changed. If an actor had, an accident, they cut themselves shaving, and they couldn't, you couldn't wear makeup for it. And so now, you say, okay, I have to stop for, a day or two. now it's like, just keep shooting, we'll just be able to fix it. I mean, you can fix anything.
Do you think things are moving faster when it comes to technology and like filmmaking, or do you feel like it already happened like 23 years ago?
No, of course not. No, look, you were using AI in Tron in, what was it, 83? Yeah. And you look at Jurassic Park, and you look at so many movies, we've been using AI. AI is not new. The speed of it, what is now happening in terms of the tools that are coming out, what you're doing, all the tools that you're providing for artists to create is exhilarating. It's really exhilarating.
I think we were speaking about this backstage, which is a lot of these tools are going to help people that are currently working in film or in media do things, as you're saying, faster and experiment more, but also going to open the doors for folks who never thought of themselves as artists in the first place and experiment in the first place. How do you think that's going to like play out, and who are those people who are going to like start inventing perhaps new forms of expression, new mediums, new art forms?
That's anyone that has these tools available to them. So you find the barrier of entry has now completely shifted. You don't have to. You have to write. You have to have a good idea. I mean, it's always going to be about a good idea, and that's going to differentiate you as an artist. Is that soul, that heart, that empathy that you're going to bring to whatever story you're telling, at whatever length it is. And by the way, sometimes I think it's harder to tell a story in 3 minutes and 7 minutes than it is in 2 hours. Would Irishmen have been better at 2 hours?
It's a great movie still.
I'm very proud of that movie. But look at that movie, for example. Now, that's just 4 years old. If we'd had the kind of face-swapping deep fakes, that movie would look different than it did as we were trying. And we thought we were ahead of the curve at that time. That movie took 10 years to get made because we were waiting to a certain extent, we were waiting for financing, but we were also looking at how technology would change it. But to answer your question specifically, I just think the barrier of entry allows anyone to come in and be able to tell a story and tell it in their way, and and to be pure about what they want to do. Because so many times, as a writer, as a producer, anyone that has an idea, and you kind of go into the Hollywood system, even into the independent film world, and you have more people to talk to. It just becomes, and the more people you're talking to, the more your story can take different turns and sometimes isn't what you want it to be. That said, sometimes having all those creative influences can also be a positive too. But you have to be really strong. You have to be have that center that's going to hold your vision, your passion for why you're even doing it.
I think you're bringing a lot of really good points when it comes to what makes like a good artist, or you're speaking about vision, purpose, care, right? What do you think makes a good story? Like, it doesn't seem like it's technology. Sure, technology can lower the barrier of entry, can make more people do things that many never thought could be possible. But what do you think makes like a really good story?
Well, for me as a producer, if I have to get involved with a story, now I'm talking about traditional filmmaking, stories that can take many years to get made, then I have to be passionate about it. I have to love it. It becomes till death do you part, because why do I want to just go? Because if you're working that hard, you better love it. It becomes like a kid. So a good story for me is something that has heart, that's something that how do you change people's hearts and minds by making them laugh? What can be, just, again, it's entertainment. So, I'd love to be able to just do stories that inspire. I love doing comedies. I wish there were more comedies.
Yeah, something like that.
But I hope I'll do another Fokker soon. But yes, let's hear it for a Fokker.
Tribeca has also seen a lot of change. As you were saying before, 20 years ago, things were very different as we were today. What has changed? What has remained the same when it comes to celebrating those artists and putting them at the forefront of the film festival?
So film will always be in our DNA. We took film out of the title of the festival. It's now Tribeca Festival. We've been showcasing games at the festival for probably about 12 years now, because great games have there can be amazing stories and non-linear narratives. So we've had games. We were one of the first to bring in VR and immersive storytelling, and it's been interesting to watch those artists cross over. And I say crossover. There's just more multidisciplinary artists right now that we're seeing. So it's interesting to see an artist who comes to us has an independent film in the festival. Then they have a piece that's an immersive piece, and then the next year they're part of a shorts just watching it weave in and out, and you're watching game creators who want to be filmmakers too.
Is there something that you've seen repeats as a pattern for those folks who are experimenting with new mediums, for the folks who are jumping from medium to expression? Like, is there something you've seen in how they think about their role, how they think about their tools? Like, I guess I'm thinking about all the new generations of filmmakers or creatives, or perhaps names that we don't have yet to describe what they're going to be doing. But is there something that you've seen emerges from the best ones who are always at the frontiers of trying new things?
Curiosity. Your curiosity to want to tell a story and want to be able to use new tools to express yourself. And what's kind of extraordinary as creative people, you have the ability now to say, I want to do a short film and go make the short film. Or I want to do it in multiple episodes, or I want to do it as an AI piece that comes from how good I am at making the prompts. So it's, because of how distribution has changed so much, there's kind of room for everyone. But I think the ones that rise to the top become, singular voices. Because even though so many people can make a film, just because you can post a great picture on Instagram does not mean you're a great photographer. At least that's what I've been told by my children.
There's also a common misconception with AI, which I get a lot. I was kind of speaking at it before, which a lot of people think you go into Runway type movie and you get a movie, right? And it's hard sometimes to realize that, of course, it's more complex than that. It's about what you're saying: care, passion, vision, curiosity. Have you seen people experimenting with AI? The best content you've seen, how has it evolved over the years? You've seen something now, you've seen something last year. Where do you think it's going to go, like, in a couple more years, for those folks that are looking at it more than just like writing a prompt or taking a picture?
So are you talking about AI as what we're showing at what we're showing here, yes, or so as creators?
Both.
Not
I think both. What we're seeing here, but also what we're going to see more as people start experimenting more with it.
Well, I think as models become more sophisticated, we're going to see some really interesting work come about, as long as they're clean, properly curated models. I think it's exciting that we will have the ability, it might be part of a bigger film as opposed to an entire film. Not to say that someone can't do an entire film. I think, right now I don't think AI is very good at doing humans. They're not good at fingers and toes.
We'll get better.
If I'm talking to you, it will get better, I'm sure.
Just the research team, if you want to ask them.
Okay, please. We need better.
I guess
it's weird.
We need better fingers. Okay, research project tomorrow. What do you think is missing besides better models, more technology, in terms of like supporting people and giving artists perhaps new spaces? What can we, I guess, both be doing, but also what other people can be doing to engage with this?
Well, first, we want to make sure that we're all responsible in terms of AI. We want to make sure that what we're doing is protecting our own copyright, and where we have, how we're going to be, how we're responsible, and how we make sure that whatever we're using, copyright material or other material, that we give credit to that. I think that's just what we as humans need to do to protect not only us as artists, but just the way information goes into the world. Although you didn't need AI for misinformation, I think those are sort of the main things.
I think experimentation and just getting more people to use this. To build.
Getting more people to use it without question. Certainly, your platform is doing that. And people, there's so many in the industry that are afraid of it. And I think, whether it is more job creation, more summits, more learnings that all the different trades can have, so that they're not as afraid of it as they are, because it is generational too.
I guess you've seen that fear many times before with different technologies. Is that, I guess, what you're saying, or?
I think there's. Look, there's always somebody's always afraid of something new, and half of that's because they haven't read about it, they don't know about it. So read about it, then you won't be so scared, or else you'll be more scared, and then they can climb into their hole. I don't know. It's called it's called moving in the world.
I guess you're always scared of the things you don't understand. Yes.
Yeah.
So
it happens with people too.
The what?
It happens with people too.
Of course. We only have a few more minutes left. I could spend like hours chatting and discussing more about this. But you're also, I guess, the Tribeca festival is not only Friends of Runway, but we're also doing a programming partnership together.
Yes.
Which I'm very, very excited about. This is the first time we're speaking about it. So, we'd love for you to tell us more about that.
I'm going to tell you more about that right now.
Here we go.
Tribeca is thrilled to announce.
It's official, so you can tell. We
can tell. A programming partnership with Runway's AI Film Festival. Okay, applause, great. We'll be showcasing a curated selection of AI-generated shorts at the festival this June. You can buy tickets for the festival on our website. Anyway, the program will highlight 7 short films and 2 music videos that leverage AI in their creation process, ranging from script writing and editing to visual effects and sound design. After the screenings, we'll host a Q&A with filmmakers. Our goal is to foster a robust dialogue about the role of AI tools in filmmaking and engage with creators from all backgrounds. Our human-powered AI shorts program is open to the public. That means all of us. And it will take place Saturday, June 8th at 12:30 p.m. at SVA Theater. Any more questions, ask him.
I'll be here. Thank you, Jane. Thank you. Big round of applause for Jane. Thank you.